All right, welcome to the Ringer Gambling Show, Monday edition. Cousin Sal here with Joe House. Wow, the very patriotic Joe House. Where did you get that USA cap? My goodness.
Well, the truth is the Ryder Cup, it was time to take that mojo and flip it into some yojo, which is here we are 46 years later with the gold medal in the hockey, cuz.
You son of a bitch, it worked. Good luck to anyone trying to get USA gear right now, sports that is, but I know there are some red caps floating out there. But wow, what a morning, what a very early morning for some people. We're gonna recap all of it. The Olympics, hey, we came in second place, but that gold seemed to be everything anyone cared about in hockey. We're going to go NBA, college basketball weekend recap, the Genesis Open House. My God, we'll talk about that. I don't know why. I never have any money left after these golf tournaments. Not good. Plays of the day. But first, let's talk about that gold medal game. U.S., Canada, the United States wins 2-1 in overtime. House, did you watch? It's very important you let people know what time you woke up and if you set an alarm or if you were up already or what happened. The Ringer Gambling Show is brought to you by FanDuel. The football season is over, but things are only getting started on the court. FanDuel is the number one choice for same-game parlays, live betting, and more during the NBA season. And don't forget, with FanDuel, you get paid instantly when you win. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app now and play your game. You must be 21 or older and present in select states, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut.
I definitely watched. I watched the third period and the overtime. I have no idea whether I was watching it live or taped. I was watching it at like 9:15 in the morning, East Coast.
Live.
And
You're
I was
live, yeah.
fortunate, like I looked at my phone and there was nothing on my phone from my friends in the threads saying this thing or that thing about any outcomes. So I felt like I was either all of us agreed to watch a taped version or I was watching it live. That was the best part.
We'll still never know, actually, right? I mean, live nowadays is anywhere from 45 seconds to 4 minutes behind in the lag, right?
As we know, as every degenerate gambler on the planet knows.
No doubt about it. But anyway, all right, yeah. But I mean, this was the most annoying part to me. Like everyone on Twitter, like I set my alarm at 5:42, and then I press snooze, and then I'm like, all right, either watch it or don't watch it. Who cares? Right. If you watched it, you saw a great one. Connor Hellebuck, 41 saves. House. By the way, talk about on delay. We'll get to this a little later with Connor McDavid winning the MVP because it was a tournament bet, but people, from a betting angle, were laying heavy wood on Connor Hellebuck at plus 130 in the third period, either not knowing, and apparently the betting had closed. Apparently it had closed. Some people were still taking bets. I don't know. That's not great, but
you
anyway.
weren't one of the people. You didn't get stuck.
No. I was too tired to even press buttons on my phone.
Well, you set your alarm for 5:50 a.m. Cuz
I'm becoming one of those a-holes. I did it. I did it right there. U.S. scored first. Canada tied it, and then just a barrage of shots from the Canadians. We protected a 5-on-3 advantage. Killed that. That was nice.
It's very nerve-wracking. You're not supposed to have that much anxiety before the first coffee of the day. That's my advanced stage. Like I don't need the agita on a Sunday morning, cuz.
Yeah, it's end to end, and then Jack Hughes scores the golden goal in overtime. What a moment. Very nice. We'll talk about that overtime in a second. But he chucked his helmet into the crowd. Took out an Italian usher, a 14-year-old. Very sad. It's still in stable condition, but what would you value that helmet at? I'll tell you what it's supposed to go for. What do you tell me? What do you think it will go for?
Oh, so a person collected Jack Hughes' helmet from the stands, has it. Right. It can be authenticated. Goes to market with it. How much is it? I say $150,000.
They're saying $250. They're saying $250.
Who's they? Who's they?
Darren Ravel. Yeah.
That's a made-up number. That sounds like a Ravel number.
I know. I guess you just made it up. Anyway. All right, here's another made-up number. So not only does Jack Hughes score the golden goal in overtime, chucks his helmet into the crowd, gets to celebrate. He lost some teeth during the game.
Yes,
teeth. Giving us like one of the great patriotic images of all time, just smiling, nothing, bloody mouth, gold around his neck. Good job by you. But let me ask you, House, how many teeth would you be willing to lose for a gold medal? Now, here it is. You can't replace them. And, everybody knows that's why you lost the teeth, which is a positive, I would say. It's
why
not just
can't
like
you replace them? This is the world we live in now. You can replace everything.
I know, but this is my game.
It's artificial. Oh, okay. It's
my game.
Cuz conundrum.
Yeah.
Conundrum.
That's right. You have to live with this.
I don't
it's
care.
not
All
what
the
people
teeth,
know.
Who cares?
All of them.
Worth it. For
gold,
gold,
32.
For gold, and they know that the reason you don't have the teeth is because you won the gold for America. You can't take that away. That's worth it for the rest of my life. I just have become a soup guy, and I already love soup.
I was just gonna say, you and I eat like farm animals. We can't lose over 31 and a half teeth. That's not what I had it for, right? I mean, you can't choke down Fogo de Chao through a straw.
Liquid diet.
You sure?
I feel like again,
really?
It's modern age. I feel like they can put anything in a soup.
This could be the only thing that saves our lives if we lose like 31 and a half teeth. We don't end with obesity.
For the gold.
All right.
USA, baby.
I guess then you can melt the gold down and make your teeth into gold. I've seen that before.
You didn't offer that to me.
Okay, yeah, you're right. You can't do that. All right, I was going to say 3.5, but you're going for the full boat there.
Who cares?
3.5 teeth. I love it.
46 years. Once every 50 years, U.S. wins a hockey gold. Yeah, man, it's worth. And yet, that's an iconic kid who's going to be a legend for the rest of his life.
Pretty great. It really is pretty great. What'd we think of the 3-on-3 for overtime?
I was feeling, I got swept up immediately in that third period by, again, I was describing earlier, like it just the heavy emotion and hockey. And I have hockey in my DNA, in my blood. My father is from the great state of Colorado, and he and his brother moved to the Washington, D.C. area in 1972. And in 1974, the Washington Capitals were founded playing games in the old Capitol Center, where you could smoke cigarettes and watch hockey, watch guys skate around without helmets. And my dad and his brother would take me and my brother sometimes in my uncle's old Corvette, old green Corvette, 3 boys trapped in the back seat. There's no back seat in those old Corvettes, 70s Corvettes, but we go out and we watch those. So it's in my blood. I love hockey intensely. And the stress of a third period all by itself, and then we get to the overtime, and I have to tell you, I think the 3-on-3 hockey overtime is my single favorite sporting event on planet Earth. I really love it. Both the women and the men proved to us, demonstrated to us in a manner that's so conclusive, irrefutable. It is a spectacle. It goes so fast. Every single play has life or death written all over it. It's tremendous.
Yeah. Wow. Now, would you have thought that if we had lost to the Canadians in both men's and women's in the 3-on-3? Like, would that have changed it?
It's a great question. I still think the answer is yes. I still love it. I really do think it's a sensational way to close out a sporting event. And there's no reason to take shots at soccer, but I'm going to do it anyways. We have the World Cup here in North America this year. God willing, I'll knock on wood. It's still some chapters to be written, but it seems like we're going to have the World Cup here in North America. And they resolve these soccer games. Now they do play some overtime, but then after a certain amount of time, because there's no scoring in soccer, we do penalty kicks. That is a very unsatisfactory way to resolve something of that magnitude, in my humble opinion.
So now the argument against penalty kicks is that it at least resembles the game, the beautiful game, as they call it, right? The passing, the skills, and everything else
resembles. Sure,
yes, exactly. So I think that's what people will say about this a little bit. It's not one-on-one. It's not like it's not breakaways, right? For the penalty shots to get in. It's not the same thing. It's somewhere in between. Here's what I think. I don't mind it. I think it's a little unsatisfying when McKinnon doesn't play the puck and doesn't clear the zone, and that's it. That's all that really mattered. It wasn't, it didn't lead to a nifty goal. It was just that they were outmanned at that point. I think it should start like the Royal Rumble, 8-on-8. 8-on-8, not even 5-on-5 like it is in the regular game.
My God, 8 on 16 skaters.
Oh, there's no room. There's no room for anything. But every 5 minutes it goes down a man. 7-on-7, 6-on-6. We'll get to your 3-on-3, right? 20 minutes in if there's no goal.
5 minutes is a long time for all those people. I might 2 minutes makes sense, but
we could play with that.
Sure. I get where you're coming from.
We have no teeth left. Who are we to say? We can't say anything. But you know what I'm saying? So it goes down and down and down. Eventually, it could be 1-on-1. It's very Royal Rumble-esque. You have McDavid against Kachuk, and the people are going nuts. Then you're building momentum. But I get it. I get they don't want these to be 4 hours long, but also what would have been more iconic than had we won in like a 4-hour, 5-hour game?
Yeah, those multiple. That's the other element of what I grew up with playoff hockey. It was these multiple overtimes, especially as a Washington Capitals fan. The Islanders did it to us. The Penguins did it to us. These epic, 6-hour hockey games where we're just going period by period by period. I mean, I won't even make the joke that's sitting there right on the table. Just infinite hockey, cuz.
Yeah, no, I love it. By the way, Rod Langway, defenseman, the Hall of Famer, one of the last, I think, to go helmetless. Yeah. Right there. Yeah, had the USA cap there. All right. So the players, after the game, I got so much written down here, I'm sorry, but they were handed medals and stuffed animals after the game. Now, the medal you put around your neck. Yeah, you could wave and do everything. The stuffed animal, you got to carry. By the way, Nate McKinnon's reaction, first of all, he blows an empty net. He misses the net. He gives up. He doesn't play the puck in overtime, and then he's handed, and he has the best reaction to getting handed a Beanie Baby post game. Spectacular stuff. I don't get it at all.
Two things about this, and then a question for you.
Okay.
If you know that you're gonna give the stupid stuffed animal, give it at the same time as the medal. How about that idea, right?
Yeah.
It's the medal and the doll all at once.
The doll was the main event? Yeah.
Because they kept, it was the medals all the way down. They announced the players' names, and then they have another person working the line with the stupid doll after everybody's gotten their medal. Why? To what end? It was stunning to me that the Canadian players all held on to the doll. That was an upset to me. So my question to you is, what would you, under the circumstances there, as a Canadian loser, what would you have done with the doll?
Well, they, as a loser, might have needed an emotional support stuffed animal, stuffed as it be, to help them through it. I was going to say I would have chucked it into the stands with the helmet there, except now Darren Ravel is reporting those each stuffed animal's worth $17.3 million. So I don't know. No, maybe I made that up.
Right.
Yeah,
there's a good chance those hockey guys can get petty. Like if one of them had let's set odds. Like I think somebody could have shoved one down their pants. I think somebody could have put it in their rear end and then threw it into the crowd. Like I think anything's possible to show your revulsion. I mean, because it was a tough loss. I mean, speaking of McKinnon, already sour grapes out there. Quote going around the internet about him. You watched the game. Who was the better team? Well, I don't know. Nathan, the team that scored the more effing goals. Yeah. Maybe that's the team that was the better team, buddy. But
with the shinier medals, of course. Yeah.
Why tempt fate with the stupid stuffed animal? That's the thing.
All right. But here's another way of putting it. How many stuffed animals were given out there? 30? I don't know.
At least.
Fewer? Maybe. I don't know. But how many make it home?
That's a good one. For the Canadian team?
I don't know. Both. I don't know. First of all, they're going to Florida first. All the flights are diverted because of the snowstorm on the East Coast.
Point. Right? Yeah, because they all have to come back to the North America to play hockey, play professional hockey, all these guys. A reasonable number, because a number of these guys have kids. And I think that would be like,
they have kids.
I don't like this. A single guy, there's no chance. Like I said, that one ended up in a toilet in the locker room.
So the tough part is getting it from the ice to the locker room, because if you would have ditched it, it would have been during that time period when you weren't thinking about your kids and you're mad that you won silver and whatever else. But once you get it there, you could throw it in the bag. All right. A little somber note. Johnny Gaudreau, that tribute, really sweet, unbelievable. I mean, you got nothing flowing through your veins if you don't feel for that. Killed by a drunk driver a couple years ago, and the U.S. team brings his kids on the ice, an 11-year vet, right? Bring his kids on the ice to pose for the picture. Nothing better than that, right? That's what it's about.
Yeah, that's right. And we are nothing if not snarky dicks on this program. But for sure, chills moment. Seeing because the way that the players, the kids, they love those players. It's clear that they have a connection. They're just little, the little girls, but they had big smiles, and those pictures, for the Gaudreau family, that's a legacy. Those girls with that team and those smiles and the jersey. We should all be so lucky that when we go, that people celebrate our memories with something as nice as that.
I expect you to do that for me. At least you'll probably be selling my teeth on eBay is what you'll be doing.
Darren Rebel says I can get them for each tooth is $6,000.
I hope Gaudreau's kids left with some stuffed animals at least. For God's sakes.
At a minimum.
They're the ones that would appreciate. All right, so we mentioned Connor McDavid, MVP. He was also the Conn Smythe winner. He has no trophies to show for this, but just, I guess the MVP trophy and this Conn Smythe, if they're trophies. But someone said online that this sounds like an Onion article. He just keeps winning everything while not being on any winning teams. It's crazy.
This is going to sound disloyal. But there's a certain hockey player here in Washington, D.C. whose legacy is not that. Now, there is a Stanley Cup here in the nation's capital, 2018, but it took a little while to get there. And otherwise, Sidney Crosby, who was injured, but, great captain that he was there for his team, tried to lead them spiritually, emotionally. Sid the Kid owned Ovechkin for the entirety of their careers, except Ovi's got this goal record. That congratulations.
All right,
but McKinnon is still time. Not McKinnon.
McDavid. Let's just put an end to this and just make it the MVP is the MVP of the last game, the best player in the last game.
That makes it easy, doesn't it?
Who cares that you beat Slovakia 13-2? It's fine.
Right. He was dominant against Finland. Well, Finland was good, so I shouldn't use that as a joke. Czechia. What was the country where they mixed up? Anyway.
Yeah. There are a few. So how do we compare this to 1980? Do we have to? We don't.
No,
let's
really not. I know how I watched it. The most interesting thing. One of the things on the periphery that came out was how people talked about how they came to know that the U.S. won, and there was a handful of people in that era whose lives were tied to the news business, the print media business, where they could communicate. But you had to use a rotary phone in 1980 if you wanted to communicate. There was no other way of communicating. Whatever the however AP or whatever those the news publishing services.
Hear ye. Yeah.
Right. I can assure you, my family had no idea when we sat down to watch.
They know now, though, right? They're big hockey fans.
Finally,
I sent you something, and Simmons and Hench. This was how it was. Oh yeah, so this is how it was broadcast. The game puck dropped at 5:06 Eastern on that day, February 22nd, 1980. ABC didn't air it live. They held it for an 8:30 tape delay and led in with a Pink Panther Olympic special at 8. Truly a different era of sports television. So, yeah, they held on. They're like, okay, this is good. This is important. But, by the way, Al Michaels, it was his second hockey game he was ever calling. He said he knew what offsides was, and basically that was it. Unbelievable.
Well, what else did he need to know? All he needed to know was he learned the names of the kids, and that was it.
Yeah, he knew all the miracles. And that was one of them. All right. Well, so this wasn't a miracle. I think he could have gotten us for about plus 250, plus 200 when we were losing in the quarterfinals. Definitely, the live odds were bigger than that. But I do feel a little bad for Canada. Rough year. World Series, they lost in Game 7 by a quarter of an inch. Today they lose by maybe even less than that. Our men and women take hockey gold. I don't know if it's enough to drop them as a 51st state. No, politically it's weird. I mean, in no way does it rise to the level of U.S. Russia, but I'm sure they hate us and wanted this one more than any other, right?
They bounced back. The men took the gold in curling. I mean, I don't think DeBundo had any money on it, but the Canadian men won the curling gold.
Can I say this about DeBundo? I love him to death, but we had 2 weeks of Winter Olympics. And in those 2 weeks, we had shows. And during those shows, he bombarded us with, I'm not exaggerating here, 16 hours of curling talk. And I still couldn't tell you if he won or lost.
It was
Did
over
he
these.
win?
It was a 2-week period where I was extremely happy that I was only on once a week with the Bundo. It was like really great.
What's he gonna do? He's like on suicide watch. Now the curling's over. I gotta say, like, all kidding aside, I think if you were to give a grade to these Olympics, like personal grade, go ahead, you go first. What would you give it?
I don't know how to grade it. I didn't watch any of it. I
So
watched very little.
Just this morning, right?
Yeah,
like if the U.S. had lost.
I watched the women's hockey. I was interested in the women's hockey. I did watch a little of the curling after the Bundo started, trying to give us some. And then I was like, "What am I watching?" And then I reached the conclusion, and I said it on one of our shows. Oh, this is a sport where you get super drunk or super high and then play it. Okay, right. Now this makes sense to me. But I only watched it for that purpose.
The first alternate was like a 53-year-old personal injury lawyer. I'm not even making that up. I think it was.
They look like us.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
If I have all my teeth, I wouldn't have to give up any teeth. Curling does.
I give it a C-. And this is a personal thing. I mean, it would have been worse, I think, if the U.S. men didn't win. But because I just think it was too much curling. Like I feel like we used to watch the Winter Olympics and there was more downhill skiing or more of something. I could not turn the TV on and not. Is it that every country competed in the curling? Is there 40 different curling events? I have no idea why there was so much curling.
It somehow or another, the curling must have resonated with the worldwide viewing public because it sure was a ton. I mean, obviously now in the world where information is delivered to us in 8 different channels by, the most immediate electronic means possible. I would wake up every morning. I'd have 19 notifications about what happened. I'm like, well, I'm not going to watch any of this.
Right.
Like, there's no drama. I'll be interested in, isn't it here in the U.S. In the near enough future? No, I mean, the winter is coming sometime.
I don't know.
Here in the near enough. I'll be interested. Because I really just did not care at all about these Winter Olympics. I thought that I might gamble and be interested. I tried to will myself into watching the speed skater Jordan Stoltz. I think that's his name. Not John Smoltz. Jordan Stoltz.
Is that the actor that lost out to Michael J. Fox? I don't know.
Right. He did win the 1,000, but I thought maybe he'd set a world record. And apparently he's the king of the Netherlands. He gets stopped everywhere he goes in the Netherlands. He can't go anywhere. He was not the king of my viewing here in Washington D.C.
I mean, I think Lindsey Vonn wiping out again. Nothing no one saw live was like a top 4 or 5 like Olympic moment. It's very, I don't know, a little weird. Yeah. But anyway, Norway most medals 41, U.S. 33, Italy the host country 30. Okay, at least they showed up there. 18 golds for Norway, which is a record. 12 for U.S., which is a U.S. record. Pretty good. You know who est the bed? We did an Olympic pool, me and Paul Kors and the degenerate trifecta. Yeah. Well, we had all the countries listed. There was some kind of mix up. Somebody picked the Russians. They didn't really
That's not
compete.
Possible.
They
that
didn't
can't be possible.
Did
Harry pick Russia?
Harry had the Russians.
Harry picked Russia.
He did. So there were 13 Russians competed individually because the country was not was banned,
not recognized.
And besides, everybody else was fighting in the war, I guess. So yeah, no good for Russia. I mean, maybe that was the difference. I mean, we needed Russia in this. Like, we need the Dolph Lundgren.
It's a great point. That's right, especially for the hockey.
Yeah, more Dolph, less curling.
Give us some villains.
All right, listen, let's take a break. We're going to make some money here. When we get back, NBA, college basketball, plays of the day, golf. House is going to tell us what the hell happened in Genesis Open. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Stay with us. All right, we're back. Ringer Gambling Show, Monday edition. Cousin Sal, Joe, House. I promise we're going to talk gambling. We just talked about Olympics for 24 minutes. House, you had the line of the week. What did you say?
We just talked about it more than I watched. That was an amazing conversation we had.
They win. That means they win. I don't know who they is, but they win. They ended up winning. All right, let's do the NBA. There were some interesting games today, Sunday. Starting off, Cavs and Thunder, 121-13. Oklahoma City wins. Cavs were a 4-point favorite against the depleted Thunder. But who's really depleted when you think about it? No Shea. -4, they would play. 228 was the over-under, so it went over. House, you're going to tell us. Now, Chet had 17, 15, 3 blocks. Isaiah Joe at 22. I think Kason Wallace had 20. Cavs 7-game streak broken. But, House, you could have seen this coming a mile away. Why? Tell us why.
Yeah, we're in this mode where the NBA is really excited to reestablish itself, right? We had the All-Star break. There were no games for a handful of days. People started watching the Winter Olympics. The NBA's like, wait. We have this product. We must have everybody, put and the league back in front of everybody. So they have the schedule pretty loaded up, starting with the Thursday return after the All-Star break. And we had two situations, three at least today, where teams are playing their third game in 4 nights. And for several teams, a lot of these games were early in the day before 5 o'clock. Well, that is a recipe for disaster, both in terms of the outcome and gambling wise. If you're aware of this trend, the team that is in that predicament of playing their third game in 4 nights, 4 days, and is playing before 5 o'clock, that's an important line of demarcation, because 5 o'clock means it's a day game. They're not on their regular routine. They're not playing in rhythm, and especially applies to this Cavs team. The number is crazy, like 21 and 52 straight up, like 70% the losses for the team that is in that position. And so the Cavs have basically like a noon game against the Thunder. It didn't really matter who the Thunder had lined up. They had Chet, and that was kind of enough. But the Cavs came in, and if you're wondering about what does that mean when you rattle off a number like that, they had 10 turnovers in the first quarter. They committed 10. They beat themselves. It was self-destructive behavior, and that's because of all the reasons we're talking about here. It's crazy.
It is nuts, and I think it's as good a trend as any, because it's a good sample size. That's 72, 73 games there, right there. And it
tells you something.
And it's specific, and it won today. So we have to go with it the rest of the way. I mean, it's been winning what is that, over years? That 21 and 52, 21, 51, whatever?
Yeah, it has to be. I have to put our guy Matt Moore on
Matt Moore.
the action. He has that covered.
Listen, maybe not the best backup quarterback, but he's doing wonders. It's spinning numbers at the Action Network. All right. Cavs dropped to 4th, a half game behind the Knicks, which is how it's going to have to remain if Magic Johnson's tweet from the other day comes to fruition. Magic said it has to be the Knicks and Pistons in the East Finals. And when he said that, Pistons were 1 and the Knicks were 4. And it's like, all right, well, that's not going to work. They can't meet in the East, right? They don't reseed. Okay. So, and then he further said Cavs and Sixers don't have it, but also Boston knows how to win. He covered all his bases, except he didn't mention Toronto, your team, your boys, your radio boys.
My boys, for sure. Well, I mean, nothing like Magic to cover all his bases.
He did it. All right. So I think this is another game that falls into that predicament, right? Nuggets Warriors.
Yes.
128-117. The Warriors won again, despite being shorthanded. Kind of the same thing. Dre Green scratched right before the game with the back injuries. But crazy. Denver on the road was a 6.5-point favorite, 228.5. Damn it. We weren't going to go 0-2 with these, right? We should have just money lined OKC, God forbid OKC at home money line, and Warriors money line. What's the matter with us, House? Too much curling.
We were up watching hockey. I got too carried away. My betting card, I was playing some totals and stuff. I wasn't really paying attention to the early slate of the NBA, but the situation was begging for us to jump on it. Not dissimilar from this Celtics-Lakers situation that was begging for us to play the Celtics.
Right, I know what happened. Anyway, Brandon Podziemski scored 12 of his last 18 in the 12 of his 18 in the last 5 minutes, 15 boards, 9 assists. I haven't seen odds on Clutch Player of the Year yet, but go ahead, make some room for Brandon Podziemski right there. You know why this happened though, House? Because we bet no playoffs for the Warriors like 3 days ago. So we have
I'm not. I have no concerns whatsoever.
Oh, really?
This was just a schedule situation. The Warriors will lose games where you'd say they were supposed to lose this game to the Nuggets when they're depleted in that manner, except for the Nuggets. They're an up and down team, and the regular season is not their primary focus. They're going to end up with one of the top 4 seeds. The Nuggets, their defense is a problem. it showed itself. When they're sluggish and their rotations are out of order because Aaron Gordon's hurt, they keep getting guys hurt. Peyton Watson's not back yet, so they will figure it out eventually. But they just got caught. That was a schedule loss.
Okay,
I'm not worried about the Warriors.
All right, I'm not nervous either. We did lose 40 cents on our bet though, or dollar. I don't know what it is. It was what do we have? Clippers 2 make it, Warriors 2 not make it.
Yes,
and then the Clippers lost and the Warriors won, so it was 179. Now it's plus 219. Fine,
double down. Do it again.
They just can't go up 40 cents every week. That's it.
I'm going to do it again.
No problem. You mentioned Lakers, Celtics. Celtics were a 1-point favorite on the road. 230.5 was the over/under. Went way under. 111.89. Celtics win in the greatest basketball rivalry out there. Jaylen Brown 32, Peyton Pritchard 30. LeBron 43,000 points, not all tonight.
Not tonight, though.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Like it was like a big. I feel like whenever they do something big, like unveil a Pat Riley statue and have everybody speak, like forget it. Home team's losing. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, by then it was too late because the Celtics had established a sizable enough lead come halftime that there was no real opportunity to live bet. We needed the Celtics to stink in the first half. That would have given us the live bet that we needed at halftime after the statue unveiling. At least the statue, and I don't know what odds we would have gotten on this. It actually looked like Pat Riley.
It looked good.
The mistakes that have been made in the past were the statues that botched the who they're supposed to represent. Pat Riley, it's he got his money's worth.
They fired that one dude, I think. That what was the that was a terrible likeness. Who was it? Was football.
There was one
right?
of Dwayne Wade that was
Dwayne Wade.
Really,
yeah. Dwayne Wade was a bad one. Yeah,
looked like an alien.
Bad. Yeah. So I think. I thought it looked sharp, though. I thought it looked good. The pumping the fist is a little problematic. You're going to get some graffiti. Somebody's going to put something weird in there. Maybe he should have been holding a bottle of Grecian formula.
Dildo?
I was thinking more.
I'm sorry.
More, like kind of. I mean, he likes to oil up his hair. Maybe
pomade,
castor oil pomade.
Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
Anyway, he seemed happy. What if Holy Cross made a statue of you outside the student union? How would you want to? How would you want to be posed, House?
Wow. Well, I can't rival because Simmons, the iconic photo of Simmons in a Speedo and a hockey mask, which I mean, I'm shocked that it hasn't really made the rounds on the internet. I can't rival that.
Oh,
yes.
Really?
It was like during a study, one of these weeks where everybody's studying for finals, and the library had an enormous glass window that ran a full 50 yards, and he and another one of our classmates put on for the era really revealing Speedos.
Wow.
This was very risque stuff in the 80s and hockey masks, and ran the length of the window as a way of engendering a kind of I don't know.
What kind of gendering?
Lifting everybody's spirits with a bit of hilarity.
I got it. All right.
Yeah.
And now we want
that
the
would
goal.
be his statue. I would like me to be, shooting a 3 from the corner, because I
Shooting
definitely played
three.
more basketball than studying. I know that much.
I see. I thought it would be. I mean, for me, I would pick eating wings in the dining hall. Right
that's
there.
a great one. I mean, that's another great one.
Double fist in the wings there.
But, 2 wings, yes.
I didn't know Simmons with the mask. I have to see that picture. I got to check that out.
It's available. I promise.
They could go with just from a couple weeks ago, him sitting cross-legged, crossed-armed, watching the game in the front row there.
They could also go from his Instagram every single day, him in the sauna with the T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I get another one today. It's amazing.
That JFK Jr. was a handsome devil, I'll tell you. Let me wipe my sweat away.
Do we need an intervention?
We know he's not listening. He's doing exactly with Zach Lowe right now, so we can say whatever we want.
Yeah,
it's fine.
That's exactly right.
Pistons Spurs tonight's a pick'em. Got any thoughts? We're not going to make it one of our plays of the day, but Pistons are home. I don't know. Let's play. I guess this is actually a good one.
Yeah. Still
take the Spurs.
No. Jalen. I know Duran is back, but Beef Stew Isaiah Stewart is still out because he's on a 7-game suspension. My inclination would be the Spurs. I just feel like they post All-Star are looking for games on their schedule. Their schedule is not brutal. They just are serving notice to the rest of the NBA. Interesting thing to me, cuz, and I'll take us on this quick tangent here. I'm looking at the defensive player of the year odds because both the MVP and the defensive player of the year include players at the top of the board that are very close to not achieving the requisite 65 games to be eligible for this.
This, I feel, is the only drama left in the regular season, the race to 65. Tate has the race to 69. Let's see if Shea or Wemby or get to the 65, right? Or
yes.
Cooper, right? All three.
I hate to breathe word of this. I hate to I don't want to speak it into existence, but we can't live in a world in the NBA where a player suits up for the purposes of achieving the total number of games, the requisite number of games, goes into the game and then comes right back out. I don't know what the league rules are for crediting that. But
I thought you couldn't do that. I don't know what the minimum. You need minimum games and minimum minutes, right? Yeah.
No, you don't need minimum. There is no minimum minutes. There's not a minutes threshold. That's what would make sense. Honestly, get rid of the games and come up with a minutes threshold. Because some of these guys at the top that may not get to 65 games would certainly have enough minutes. You know, if you sort of look at if you had a minutes threshold and based it on like a 30-minute per game participation, that's a reasonable.
Yeah. Tibbs guys would have had it by the second week of the season.
Right. Fair is fair.
Well, the only thing, though, is in doing so, your numbers go down, obviously. Your averages go down if you choose that route, like you're playing 3 minutes and then coming out.
I don't – it's not enough to undo the work over the course of the season. The reason that I bring this up in the context of the Spurs is that Victor Wembanyama has played – now 42 of 56 games.
I was trying to do all this math too.
Yes, he must play in 23 more games to get to 65
out of 26.
Yes, he must play.
So he can miss 3. I thought he could miss 4. He can miss 3. Yes.
Yeah, 26 games remaining, must play in 23.
Right.
Okay. Chet Holmgren is sitting there at plus 310 on the FanDuel Sportsbook right now.
340 now. Yeah.
340, even better. Wow. Look at you.
Yep.
You have to have a little something on that because nobody is rooting for anything to befall Wemby. That's not what we're talking about here. But the implied probability, that is way out of whack, plus 340 for something that has, to me, I don't know, what do you think you make odds for whether Wemby will miss
22?
3?
Yes.
3 out of 26, right?
3 out of 26, even odds. And here's the thing: if you miss 3, if you're gonna miss 3, you can miss 8.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
yes, exactly.
Then it's wrapped up. Here, I'm gonna say something that's gonna make me look bad. I made this argument 3 weeks ago, and Chet was plus 110. So you're the smarter man here because you're getting him at plus 340. And it's the same predicament. He can only miss 3 games, Wembanyama. And by the way, the numbers aren't that great. Like the blocks are nutty with Wembanyama. It's nuts. We went over it last week. It's like 2.7. Everything else is pretty similar. And if they get that 1 seed, it's hard to deny him. I mean, it's impossible to deny him if he misses 3 games. Yeah. So Wemby. Yeah.
No, so that's right. I mean, I understand I don't have any issue with the idea of Wemby winning it if he hits 65 games. This is just a bet against having something in place for him to not get to 65 games. That's all. While
we're talking about the threshold, like Simmons can't bet on this, and he doesn't. To his credit, I'd love to blow him up, but he doesn't bet on the MVP because he has a vote. But he did point out SGA is in the same predicament. I think he can miss like 8 more. He's not being examined for like a week from yesterday or something.
I know.
So that's another 3. He's minus 145. Cunningham's plus 650. Jokic is plus 270. I don't know.
It's got to be a Cunningham play because the Joker does not give an F. Like if that makes sense. This Nuggets team is absolutely hell bent on being healthy for the playoffs. Everything about this iteration of them, the way that they built this team, the Joker is not playing for individual accolades. So I'm not worried about him. If he doesn't feel right, he won't go. If he has any kind of a niggling injury, he won't go. He's not messing around. And so the one you want to keep your eye on is SGA. And if it looks like there's any possibility, that's why Cade Cunningham went from 15 to 1. He was at 18 to 1, 15 to 1. Now, what is it? Plus 650, you said?
Plus 650. Let's not just watch it happen because, like I said, we know he's not going to play another 3, and then maybe the news is bad. We don't obviously want that, but
no, we're not. We're just talking about gambling markets.
You're right, of course. We're always just talking about gambling. All right, let's move to college for a second. There were a couple of good games this weekend. Duke, Michigan, right in your backyard, House.
They did that here.
Boozer, yeah. Boozer went for 18, 1 versus 3, low-scoring game, 68-63. Duke wins and covers. Michigan was 6 for 25 from 3, snapped an 11-game Michigan winning streak. You have to feel good about your Blue Devils futures for sure. They're plus 450 to win the whole thing. That's crazy. Michigan is plus 370. That doesn't really make sense to me. They're both going to be 1 seeds, and Duke kind of figured out how to play them.
Well, and the thing about Duke, if you have Duke tickets or you're a Boozer backer, and I am a Boozer backer, people have said if Washington's fortunate enough to get the top seed, I said, the top pick overall in this upcoming draft, the Wizards, notorious tankers here, doing it the right way. I'll make that argument to anybody. I like Boozer quite a bit. He's just a tough guy. He got so many tough touches in that game against Michigan. And he hits 18 points when your team scores 68 points. That's controlling things. And they're hard points. They are points where, they're tough guy points. I think that's a real valuable skill in this iteration of the NBA. Not a guy for Kansas who's like trying to figure out when he wants to play and how many of the second half, what is he going to play, all that kind of stuff. No, Boozer's a tough guy, and that was a tough guy game, 68-63. That's like an intramural game,
no doubt,
scoring wise. So I was impressed by Duke.
It was a tough guy game, and it was a rich guy game. $600 for the upper levels, 6,000 for lower. I mean, I know you love your son, but don't be selfish. You could have taken him out there,
I definitely do not love him enough to take him to that under no circumstances.
He's got to do better. He's got to just do better. The other big one, Arizona, Houston. 73-66. The Cats went on the road. Del Orso 22. They had an 8-minute stretch, Arizona, in the second half where they didn't score, and they still won by 7 in Houston. Now Arizona's plus 500. Houston is plus 800. I'll have some play of the day chatter with Houston in a minute. The only other thing, Illinois, UCLA, you wouldn't care about this. 95-94, though, UCLA. 23-point comeback. Wow. So I had some of the local UCLA dad grads watching on their phones during our kids' hoop game. Yikes, Illinois is blowing it for me. I have a lot of Illini futures all over the place. It was a Tyus Edney type end-to-end layup to win it for Mick Cronin, who I could have sworn was fired like on Tuesday. But
does that mean he's not going to be a vile dick to the young young journalists trying to cover the game afterwards?
He physically threw a player out. I guess he had to apologize to the player. He says he's got to do better. This is a good start, and he's still a nutcase beyond telling that journalist thing was crazy. Yeah, so you raising your voice? No, he wasn't raising his voice.
He wasn't.
Shut up.
He was trying to stand up for himself.
Calm down.
Seriously, right. What are we doing?
All right. I was raising my voice watching that Genesis Open. We're going to talk about that. We're going to have plays of the day. We'll handicap a few headlines. When we return, Ringer Gambling Show back in 2 minutes. All right, we're back. Ringer Gambling Show, Cousin Sal, Joe House, Genesis Open Talk. House, I can't have this. I can't have golf money getting sucked away from me in February. And I can't have guys like Jacob Bridgman at 80-1. Of course, nobody had it. Winning, and it wasn't even close, although he made it close. I think he had a 5-stroke lead like in mid-afternoon, but he only won by 1. Good job by him, but I can't have it.
Yeah, I mean, he had back-to-back 64s Friday and Saturday, and so he would put himself in position to coast here on Sunday with a 6-stroke lead coming into the beginning of Sunday's round. He shot 1 over par on Sunday, and the door was open. It wasn't fully ajar, but the door was open. Kurt Kitayama came out and got himself to 17 under, and then Rory sunk a putt with Jacob Bridgman standing on the green to get himself to 17 under, and Bridgman had to not 3-putt to win the tournament. He was sitting there at 18 under, and his first putt, he left 3 feet short. It was a knee knocker, but the kid stepped up and knocked it in. He was number 1 for the week in approach and number 1 for the week in putting with an extraordinary putting display. And so that will do it. That usually, if you're number 1 and hitting approaches close to the pin, and then you make all your putts, you usually win these golf tournaments. but it was instructive. We saw some guys, that as we're sort of rounding the corner, we leave California, we're headed to Florida. It's the Florida swing. The Players Championship is a few weeks away here, and then it is that sweet moment unlike any other.
That's right. And by the way,
early April.
It might be even sweeter because Friday's telecast. Tiger came on and they asked him, smart to ask him, can you play the Masters? Maybe this was set up. I don't know. He's like, yeah, I could do it. And they said, will there be a warm up? He's like, I don't know. Maybe there will. Oh my God, everybody. What a bogey boner all over the place for people.
That's right.
They do have odds on him winning the Masters. You want to guess? Want to guess what they are?
250 to 1.
Wow, you're good.
Oh,
you're
no,
good.
Seriously?
250 to 1. That's exactly what it is.
I really did pull that right out of my butt.
They probably asked you to make the odds. That's probably why you know. It's the same amount as, what's his name, Helmet, 250. But anyway, okay. Is that a fair number? Everyone's going to bet it. It's the easiest money FanDuel can make, right? Everyone's going to have $10 on Tiger.
That's exactly right. Why wouldn't they? I still think there's a less than 50% chance that he plays. And it's not because he won't be able to swing. It's because the walking still is, a problem. He can't walk 4 days, and him not being in shape. He might play. We'll know if he announces that he plays in one of the senior events, because you're allowed to take a cart in the senior events. And he said that he will take a cart in the senior events.
Oh, so
if he wants to build up his stamina, his competitive golf stamina by playing in one of the senior events, those are typically just 3 rounds. They're not 4 rounds, but that would give him the competitive sort of juice, get the juices flowing a little bit. And then he wants to go out. The thing that would be at risk, is he has the record for most Masters cuts made. But he already has the record, but he doesn't want that streak to end. So if he starts and plays and doesn't make the cut, it's over.
This is a solution to your basketball guys playing 2 minutes. Like, we should have cuts. Did he make the cut? Did Wemby make the cut in the game against the Pistons? Like that, wow, I always got this cut thing. Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, okay, so obviously these guys compete at a level we'll never, ever understand. But half of them, could he be like, you know what, I know Saturday, Sunday would be tough for me to walk by the time I get there. I just want to play, though. I just want to play the first 2 days. You think that goes to his mind at all? Or if he's in it, he's in it to win it?
We have 2 recent examents where that happened. I mean, he finished dead effing last in the last time he played the Masters. He played with Neil Shipley, this kid who at the time was an amateur, and it was hilarious. He's become a character, but he played dead last. He finished dead last. So I think the goal would be to make the cut. Yeah.
Gotcha. Good. Yeah. Good for him. Give us a minute on the Cognizant Classic in Palm Beach. The great Joe Highsmith won it last year.
This was the Honda for 60 years, and then became the Cognizant. Palm Beach Gardens, they play at PGA National, which has the Bear Trap, this stretch of holes 15, 16, and 17 down towards the end there that play as a stretch of holes harder than any other stretch on the entire tour. A lot of guys are taking a break this week. There could be some opportunities in the betting markets. 121 players in this thing. It's a full field kind of deal. And there are some players that play this well. A guy like Shane Lowry, who played pretty good this most recent week, has been good there. A couple other names that I like for this one. Who am I looking at? There's a kid coming off the KFT, Johnny Kiefer, who has been looked at. Is coming on. And then Ryan Garrard. Look at Ryan Garrard, who's been a moneymaker for us early in the season. He didn't putt well at Riviera, but his ball striking was good. A couple of names.
All right.
For you. Yeah.
Okay. By the way, so I went big on Rory after Friday. That was my big bet. And 5 off, 6 off the lead. And then he makes that crazy putt, 35-footer at the end. I don't know what it was.
Yes.
He's like, I made $600,000 difference off that. I'm like, oh, good. I lost about that because you couldn't make that earlier in the day or early in the weekend. But anyway, that's that. All right. So that's a Cognitive Classic in Palm Beach. You will be on with Nathan Hubbard during the week to talk more of that.
Fairway rolling, of course. Lots to talk about from Riviera, getting ready. Really, we're getting ready for this Florida swing. The Players Championship right around the corner in the Masters.
Good job. Going to be a lot of fun. Let's take a break. We will be back. One more thing left to do. Plays of the day when we return. Ringer Gambling. 2 minutes. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Ringer Gambling Show. Cousin Sal, Joe House, plays of the day. Monday, let's do this, House. You go first. I'll go second. I think I'm going to disappoint you with mine. We could both go in college hardwood.
Yeah, because there's only three pro games and only a handful of college games. The idea of North Carolina at home catching points against Louisville, it's because Caleb Wilson's hand is still messed up, but there are a couple trends that I like that support North Carolina catching the points. Plus 3.5 right now. It was 1.5, now 3.5. At this stage of the season, when teams with winning records in these conferences are playing against each other, you just play the home dog. That's a standard one. And Louisville is coming off of a Saturday game where they scored almost 90 points. Teams coming from Saturday into a Monday game that have scored a whole bunch of points, they're not very good against the spread the next time that they are out on those Mondays. And in fact, Louisville this season has had this twice. They got blown off the floor in one of them. So I like UNC catching the 3.5.
All right, that's a fun one. I'm going with a favorite here in the other big game, Houston. Oh, I know we hate them after last week. Minus 2.5 over Kansas. They destroyed us. Remember, what were they at? Iowa State. They were getting 2.5. It was impossible for them not to cover, and they didn't cover. They lost by 3.
Possible.
I don't win with this team. I know. I'm taking them again, though. I win with them when they're giving like 39 to Jackson State or something. But speaking of 39, Kansas, how about this trend going against this? They're 39-0 on Big Monday and coming off a home loss, and I'm going against them.
Time to bet against them.
Of course. But Houston never loses back to back to back. They lost to Iowa State, as I mentioned, and Arizona, as we went over. Kingston Flemings averaged 27-4 over those last two losses. Enough of the Darren Peterson talk already. We're going back to the well house. 77-71. Kelvin Sampson's team wins big on Big Monday. I think we have time for 1 minute. A topic do you want to discuss? Tyson fighting Mayweather in an exhibition, or
no.
Bonnie Blue is pregnant after sleeping with 400 men?
Oh, no. Who's Bonnie Blue?
I said, oh, no, after the Tyson Holyfield Mayweather thing. I was like, how much money am I going to lose?
Why did she
Bonnie,
do that?
All right,
That's
look up Bonnie Blue. Look up Bonnie Blue. But very,
Is she related to Fernando Mendoza's girlfriend? That girl who was rooting for the Miami guy?
I think she's related to everyone because she's going to have like 600 kids. I think just by definition, she has to be related.
That's just math. That's how it works.
That's just math. That's all it is. All right. That's going to do it for another episode of Ringer Gambling Show. Hey, we're on all week. Check us out at this time on the Ringer Sports Network. No, it's the FanDuel Sports Network. That's what it's called. I knew I'd get it right. For Cousin Sal, Joe House, goodbye and happy handicapping. You must be 21 or older and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 or older and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NEW YORK or text HOPENY in New York. For Louisiana, call 1-877-770-7867.